Give me just a second, guys. Give me just a moment. This is not so easy to do. Just give me a second, and I'll be done. There we go. What's up? Not yours? Welcome in. Sorry you missed the stream. That's okay. What's up, my baby Jen? Welcome in here. There, BMC. Thank you all for being here. Let me just do this Q&A real quick. Let's see here. Hopefully you guys can hear me a little better with the headphones in, and that way it just makes it a little simpler. Oh, why are you so angry, Raymond? What's wrong, buddy? What's got you angry? You know, today, guys, I was thinking about talking about communication. So hopefully we'll have some, we'll have a good show, and we'll have a good showing up. Are you a white taker? Whitaker? No, I am not a Whitaker. I am not a Whitaker. What's up, Sean? How you doing, brother? That guy's Rick's still harassing you, Raymond? That's not good. Man, it's your birthday celebration there to Sean, man. Happy birthday, brother. That's awesome. But yeah, welcome in, everybody. Had enough, so I called the cops on him. Oh, all right there, Raymond. That's what you got to do, man. That's what you got to do. But yeah, happy birthday to Sean, everybody. Let's make sure we let him know happy birthday and that it's been a great day and we love having him around. You know, that's just one of the many things we do here is we try to make everybody feel welcome, and we try to make sure that everybody has a better start or a better end to their day. He punched you? Well, yeah, that's definitely a reason to call. What's up, KK? Yeah, I can see that you haven't been on in a while there, Sean. Thank you for shopping in. Dog Snoffer. What a name. What's up, dog? How you doing, man? Dog Snoffer. Thank you for the 5 likes so far. We're out of bottled water, so I can't exactly do scalds. But thank you all for the 5 likes. Otherwise, I'd be doing a scald for you guys right now. But yeah, thank you for showing up there, Dog Snoffer. And welcome into the show. You know, as y'all all know, my name is Clint Gage, and I'll usually take and speak for about 25 to 30 minutes on a topic, and then we'll have another hangout after that real quick. And then that's usually the end of the show, guys. So we're about to be starting our topic here in a few seconds. Tonight's topic is communication. Why is it important to be able to communicate right? You know, so let's hope that this works out. Yeah, I don't understand that either, Raymond. Please grab the camera for Lamar Jackson edit. Oh, man, here we go. I don't even know who Lamar Jackson is. I'm going to have to check this out. Pin that. Yes, I am pinning that for good, man. And guys, don't forget, go check out my beautiful girl, Jen at JenHolder976. Go check her out too, guys. Give her a like, subscribe, and share. She's got some awesome content. So go give her a look. You know, guys, thank you all for being in here. It's 5 minutes into the show, so we're going to go on ahead and get started on, oh, he's an American football player. Okay. I am waiting on the cops to come and talk to, oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, subscribe to Jen Holder. Yeah, Jen Holder 976, everybody, at Jen Holder 976. We're going to try to pin that too. Pin that message. Oh, no, wait. Whoa. Wrong button. What's up, Kayla? Thank you for liking the videos so much. Oh, it's pinned. Okay, cool. What do I think about it, Jen? Just got a new camera today. Nice. But yeah, hi, not your average troll. Welcome in. So anyway, guys, welcome into the show. So what we're going to be talking about today is communication. Now, guys, this is something I've not always been the best at. I'm not going to lie. It took me a few years to actually learn how to have social skills. And it was because, honestly, I stayed away from people a lot in my youth. So I really didn't learn communication until I got older. You know, and believe it or not, I learned it in a fast food kitchen. You know, about a couple dozen times I accidentally get burned. You start learning how to say, hey, I'm behind you. You know, but that was where I started learning communication. I didn't get better at it until I got into the military. And then after that, you know, I started learning a few things here and there and picking up on how to properly communicate. And guys, I did not realize how important proper communication is on all fronts. You know, hello, Summer. How you doing? Welcome in, everybody. You know, if I don't get to you, I apologize. I'm going on ahead and doing my conversation I normally do for final thoughts. So just give me a moment and we'll get this taken care of and I'll be able to get right to you. Oh, you're all good, Raymond. Anyway, so back to our topic at hand, communication. So the reason why I brought this topic up is because a friend of mine and his girl right now are having some really bad communication issues. And because of that, it might be threatening their relationship. And I hate to see that happen, you know, guys, because most of the time, anything can be handled through proper communication. You can sit down and be diplomatic and come up with proper ways of, you know, cooperating, and, you know, you can also come up with good compromises as well, you know, but these compromises need to be met, you know, and this diplomacy is something that has to be used. And unfortunately, a lot of people here nowadays just don't be paranoid, brother. But a lot of people right now just don't understand communication. You know, we've got a whole younger generation that is so locked into a phone to where the phone is their life. That's all they do. They never call anybody but for a couple of seconds. You know, other than that, unless it's their girlfriends, and then they call them forever. You know, you can't get them off the phone, but or their boyfriend. But either way, you get what I mean. You know, but this communication thing is a very important tool that needs to be used throughout your life, because you're not going to use communication just with your significant other. You're going to use communication with your family. You're going to use communication with your parents. You're going to use communication with your boss, your teachers, whoever, you know, whoever you're around. You have to learn how to communicate with them properly. You have to be able to express yourself clearly and enunciate properly. And you have to be able to do it in such a way where you can be able to figure out and look at this person and be able to tell, if I say this, this might be wrong. You know, use a little tact, use a little understanding, because communication can mean the difference between you getting what you want and you getting nowhere. You know, as they sometimes say, flattery will get you nowhere. All right, Anklefoot, I haven't received income yet. And they actually take and know about my child support at the Social Security office. So they're already taking that out. Anyway, so back to my communication thing. You know, we're being able to take and communicate with somebody properly is just a necessity, honestly, especially if you're going to be working together in any shape, form, or fashion. There is a need for communication and proper communication at that. And the one biggest deal that I've noticed is that people are a little more demanding nowadays. They're not willing to make compromises. They're not willing to sit back and look at the impact of their actions. They're not willing to sit back and look at the impact of their words, guys. And regardless of what some people think, yeah, words can't hurt you, but they do hold power, and when you hold that kind of power, you are strong. You have the ability to take and speak your mind and people to listen, but it takes literally having, a control over communication and a mastery over language for people to even want to even look at you like a leader. So you've got to be able to take and develop that mastery of the human language, that ability to master your own First Nation language, to be able to take and speak with authority and confidence. Make sure that what you say is honest. Make sure that what you do is honest so that your actions match your words, guys. And it's definitely one of the better situations that you can take and sit back and look at. You can always take and enjoy yourself with many, many people around and be able to communicate with every single one of them. You just got to be able to do it in such a way to where you don't forget your communication. You got to actually remember what you're talking about. Actively listen. Don't just hear people. Actively listen to what they have to say. Take it to heart. Learn it. Listen to it. Acknowledge it. When you do these things, guys, you actually end up making people have more respect for you. You show more wisdom this way. You actually show more understanding of the world around you. You actually don't look like a fool, and that's the main thing. Nobody wants to look like a utter fool in front of anybody, unless you're actually just trying to be silly, which is understandable. But that's still just a form of communication. You're trying to communicate that, hey, you need to smile, and I want to make you smile. So body language is another important form of communication. If you hold your head low and your shoulders slumped and you just look defeated, but try to speak with an air of confidence, ain't nobody going to believe you. You got to hold them shoulders back, puff that chest out. You got to look like you're confident. You got to sit there and be like, nah, this is who I am. This is what I do, guys. And it's always interesting to sit back and watch some of these people that honestly just try to be rude and just try to act crazy and not really communicate in a real way. Instead of communicating, they're ostracizing. And that's not communication. That's hatred, guys. And you can't go through life with your entire vocabulary being based around hatred or being based around anger. There is a time at one point in your life that communication is going to involve forgiveness, because guys, that's one of the best ways to forgive somebody is to communicate with them, talk to them, get to know them a little bit better. There's always ways to take and free yourself. There's always ways to be able to take and expand your understanding through communication. If you can sit down and talk with somebody and tell them, hey, look, this is how I feel. This is what I see in you. This is what I see with you. And this is what I understand. If you can sit down and say that, and then the person tell you, well, no, this is what's going on, or this is how it is, or that's what it went, that's how it went, then you can sit down and have an adult conversation. But that's the biggest part of it, is being able to sit down, control one's emotions, and have a decent debate or have a decent conversation. This is communication. Shutting down, getting angry, throwing slurs or insults, or trying to be vengeful in any way. This is not communication. This is belittlement. This is bullying. That is not communication whatsoever. That is showing a disinclination, actually, for communication. And when you show this disinclination, you're not just showing the rest of the world that, hey, I don't really care what you have to say. you're also showing the rest of the world that, hey, I enjoy my ignorance. And that's a form of communication that you don't want to get out there. Your reputation is still a way of communicating without ever meeting somebody. And if you have a bad reputation, guys, then work your way through it. Try to get yourself a good one. There's always redemption out there somewhere. Nobody's ever unredeemable with the exception of very few. Very, very few. And one of the ways we can do this is through communication and through understanding, through looking at each other through the eyes of the other person, not looking at each other through, judgment or bigotry. Instead, you really look at them. You really see them. You really hear them. You take their words in and you understand that what they're saying is truly what they believe. It is truly their circumstances. It is their truth. And when you take that in and you can understand that and you can build on that understanding, then true communication can begin to take effect, where you can actually communicate back and forth without having to worry about barriers or walls. And you can simply be yourselves, which is a wonderful, beautiful thing if you can achieve that ability to be yourself around somebody and truly be able to communicate your feelings through to them. That's what your significant other is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about having that one person that no matter what goes on, you can take and just work your way through it. You just talk through it. That's all you got to do. No screaming. No arguing, no pointing fingers. You just sit down. Hey, this is what's going on. This is what we're doing. And that's just how you do things. That's how you handle it. It's a wonderful thing. I've seen a character on Game of Thrones and he looks just like you. You got a doppelganger or whatever they called. Nice, thank you. But I'd love to get to know you, Jen. I wish I had more friends. My husband is my only friend. Oh, Summer, I'm sorry to hear that, sweetheart. But, anyhow, guys, back to communication. We are seeing an age where communication is instantaneous between miles of people. We are seeing an age where the email, the text message, the messenger, the tweet, all these different things are what's taking over conversation now. Like talking to some of my nieces and nephews is almost impossible because it's all OMG, LOL, LMAO, and all these different little weird little sayings that kids have nowadays that I just am like, okay, when are we getting to English? And I mean, yeah, communication does go back to the caveman days. Trying to communicate with no words is a possibility our ancestors did. And yes, you're absolutely right. Communication with body language was what our ancestors used to do. Before there was actual spoken language, it was grunts and maybe some whistles, maybe some calls here and there, but it was mostly body language. That was how they expressed themselves. So now we're entering into an age where you express yourself with the click of a button. Just a simple click of a button. Some people choose to communicate their hatred. Some people choose to communicate their honor. And some people choose to communicate their business. But, guys, no matter what you're communicating, you've got to sit back and really think about what you're going to say. Really think about exactly what's going to come out of your mouth. Are you going to look like a fool? Are you going to look wise? Or are you going to look like a balance? Because, guys, that is a truth. There is a balance out there that all people try to obtain, that all people should try to obtain. And that balance is between communication and action. If you're communicating properly and your actions are proper, then your world should fall in line, but at the same time, oh, hang on, guys. I've got a knock at the door. Yes. Guess not. All right, guess not then. But I thought I had a knock at the door, but apparently there was no one there. Mr. Rebel, how you doing, brother? Welcome into the show. I'm almost done with what I was going to say with finishing up my last little bit of conversation about communication. You know, guys, if you really sit back and think about it, we're in a sci-fi age. We really are. You know, we're not far away from the hologram, if you really want to think about it. You know, eventually somebody's going to figure out how to do it. Somebody's going to figure out how to make true holograms. And then communication is going to go through the roof. We're going to have different scenarios, different people able to communicate, probably even across planets, guys. You know, our strives for communication is an incredible feat. But what we need to be able to do is we need to be able to use it wisely. We need to be able to find a way to communicate with each other in a way to where we strengthen one another, to where we build each other up, not tear each other down, to where we literally look at each other and say, you are human, you are man, just like I am, or you are human, you are woman, just like me. And we need to raise each other up. We need to hold each other high, and we need to tell each other and inspire each other to be stronger, to be better, to be smarter, you know, guys, to communicate better. You know, we need to be one of those type of people that is, absolutely 100% open to communication, because that is always the first step to friendships, relationships. What's up, subject? But friendships, relationships, all these things are affected by communication, and it starts with communication. Guys, if you're going to start a relationship with somebody, lay it all out on the line. The first date, that's my thing. Tell them exactly who you are on that very first date and exactly what you expect out of somebody. And if they don't like it, they're going to walk away. And you know what? Oh, well, let them walk. It ain't no big deal. It ain't no skin off your back. But the communication there is clear. She is not the woman for you. Guys, and if someone is going to come up to you and they're going to offer absolute devotion to you and everything like that, man, they're going to take their time to get to know you first. They're going to want to communicate with you, and their family is going to want to communicate with you. And there's different forms of communication. You can be informal, you can be formal, you can be straight up militaristic, you can be hostile, you can be inhostile, you can be passive aggressive. There's all different kinds of ways of communicating, and different forms. And sometimes it gets confusing. Like me, I happen to be a little bit of a sarcastic little prick, but that's just me. That's just me. But it's just fun to be able to finally sit back and see what is going to happen with this channel, to see where it's going to go, guys. And the biggest part about that is communication. You communicate with my show with your friends through liking and sharing. And I communicate with you guys through coming on here 2 to 3 times a day as best I can. I've been trying to get that morning mojo up and running again, but I keep falling asleep. So that's my fault. Well, not really falling asleep. I keep oversleeping. But let me go on ahead and just finish this out before we hit the actual hangout portion. I've got a small announcement for the next walking staff, and I'm going to show you guys what it's going to look like. So walking around the thicket, back up, not for you. So walking around the thicket, back up, go. But walking around the thicket, my dad and my stepmom stumbled across this little skull. It's probably a raccoon or a possum. You can't really tell without actual professionals to look at it, but I think it's a raccoon or a possum. But what I would love to do is to take this skull and fashion it on a walking staff. So right at the top of the walking staff have the skull sitting there and have runes come down below it. So guys, you know, this is going to be our expensive staff. It's going to have an actual bone on the staff. So it'll have this actual skull fashioned to it where it will not come off. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy that and enjoy watching me actually construct this staff. And we're going to create our forest walker staff. You know, we're going to add some, hopefully if I can find it, we're going to add some furs and we're going to add some feathers to this so that it's going to look nice and primitive and just awesome. What's up, CS Ghost or CS Ghost? No, we're going to end up just selling the truck. It's too expensive to fix the head gasket. You have 2 mummified kangaroos on your farm? I'd be taking some bone, man. I'd be making some stuff out of bones, brother. But that's just, you know, that's just me. Whenever I get a chance, I'm going to clean this up, polish it up real well, you know, get it looking nice and pretty, and we're going to put it on that walking staff, and then we're going to burn our runes down it. Oh, you're off work tomorrow. Nice, brother. Yeah, we've got another vehicle to use, man. I mean, both of them are in bad shape, but we got something to use. But it's nice to see that some of our friends have showed up. Welcome in, everybody. We had some new guests show in. I saw as I was talking, you know. Oh, nice. Hey, girl from Gen Z. Every girl from Gen Z is horrible. I can't stay with one. I like 3 side girlfriends. Oh, I got you. Started as a cook. Nice, Mr. Rebel. Nice, nice. Welcome, everyone. Please join me here for the show. You know, we're having a nice, good little old chit chat. Ooh, it's getting hot up in here. Yeah, he does. You're stuttering. Yeah, man, I stutter a little from time to time, dude. I do actually have a slight speech impediment, and it is rather hot in here. So those are 2 things that I have to actually say. But also, I'm taking that new medication for my little inflammation problem that I had down there whenever I injured my testicle. And it kind of makes me a little loofy, man. That and I walked 2 miles just a little bit ago. Multiple guys, and she's my ex, but she babs, so she's a side. I got you there, BMC. Oh, nice subject. I injured it during training, man. I did the splits on wet grass, and I injured my testicle. I pulled a muscle and injured my testicle. I didn't care about the pulled groin muscle. The injured testicle sucked. But apparently 198 pounds is still a lot to come down on a pair of junks. Yeah, my feet went that way. 1 foot went forward, 1 foot went back, and I went kaplop, and I fell over. Yeah, maybe BMC. Yeah, it hurt. It hurt. I went all the way to the ground. I ain't even going to lie. I was in mid-swing as hard as I could. I went straight to the ground. Luckily, I was able to bury the axe in the ground on my way to the ground. But it's beside the point. I was just like, oh, my berries. So, you know, I thought it was okay. And I was going to be fine because I felt the pulled muscle. I knew that was there. I did not realize I injured my testicle. And when it started swelling, you know, I had to go to the doctor because I was afraid it was going to be prostate cancer. But no, I bruised it and injured it really badly. You know, that's just it. But, you know, guys, that kind of stuff happens. You've got to be careful. You've got to actually pay attention to what you're doing whenever you're training or anything like that, guys. Take into consideration the world around you because it's going to bite you in the butt if you don't pay attention. Oh, I I saw the ultrasound myself, and I'm pretty sure because the medication's doing what it's supposed to do. It's making me a little scrambled eggs mixing with my antipsychotic. But that's just something that happens, guys. To a degree, I can at least tell when there's something wrong. You know what I mean? I know what it's supposed to look like. But that's just because I watch a lot of medical like not medical documentaries like TV setting their show and stuff and explaining it. No, I mean like medical documentaries in like the New York Times and stuff like that, where they go into absolute depth and they show you everything about it. And I've watched a few videos on how to read an ultrasound when my first wife got pregnant. I wanted to be able to read it properly. And so not to the degree of a professional, but good enough to know if something's off or if something's right. Got a new mountain bike. Awesome. Oh, dude. Never had one. Not yet. I'm waiting until I'm 40. They got 2 more years out of me. And then I got to get one. But by then, my Medicaid will be kicked in. So anyway, guys, I want to thank you all. Y'all are absolutely amazing. Thank you all so much for being here. Please feed. I've still got to learn Old Norse there, subject. I can't read it. 45 is when you're supposed to get one if your doctor told me. Oh, okay. Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne lived he partied till the end, man. That man was a great legend among our people. And now he's gone. Yeah, I'm trying to get well. I might end up cutting us out a little early again for the simple fact that it's just hot back here, and I'm still trying to fix this stupid ventilation problem with my AC unit. But it's just getting really boiling hot back here, guys. So I might end up cutting it down short, but that's only because I don't want to overheat, and also it's getting close to time to take my meds. So we're going to see. We might go to 45 minutes. We might actually go on ahead and hit our full hour. I don't know yet. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm not over 40. No, I'm 38 years old. CS Ghost. Good night, Rebel. But yeah, CS Ghost, I'm 38 years old. Well, soon to be 38 in November. No, I'm not taking applications for any mods. I have not. Oh, what did Jin make for dinner? I was going to say, I haven't eaten dinner yet. I ate a snack, but I haven't eaten dinner. Oh, yeah. Well, she had sounds so awesome, I could smell it. She explained it to me, and it's just like chicken and rice with cheese on it, and I was just like... I love me some chicken and cheese. Rice... mashed potatoes, I don't care, whatever the base is. It just as long as it's got some good old grilled chicken and cheese. So how's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully everybody's having a better night than when it started. I do have my AC. It's sitting right here. The problem is the ventilation going out the window because of the way the window's situated is actually giving me problems right now. My AC unit keeps pulling away from it. Oh, nice. We got kind of flooded there for a minute. All right, everyone. Well, I am too hot for my own damn good. So I'm going to go on ahead and end this right now because I'm sweating through my shirt. So I'm going to go on ahead and I'll check you guys all next time. Thank you all for showing up for final thoughts tonight. You know, once we get the AC fixed, we'll be back to our hour-long shows. Okay, everybody. So we're going to be taking and going on ahead and leaving now. And it was awesome having you all in here. See you from a swamp, later from a gator. Love your mama, love your papa, love yourself. Be kind, always find a way to help. I hope you enjoyed this video on communication and a short little hangout afterwards. Thank you guys, and we love you all. Goodbye.